This is a training video for those in the spa industry who work with the Deepak Chopra Dream Weaver. My name is David Major and I work with Deepak Chopra and an extraordinary team of people in developing this amazing tool. And this work comes from Deepak's other work of the Self-Directed Biological Transformation Initiative. Deepak is a very big proponent of the health and wellness benefits of meditation, and we've actually gotten to a point now where we're actually scientifically measuring the effects of meditation, and we're finding really amazing things. I mean, some of the things you know, like reduced blood pressure and lower stress and cholesterol and better heart rate variability and stuff we would have never guessed, like even the individual DNA strands on people as they age unwind. These are called telomeres, and people who meditate, they don't unwind, which is really amazing. So we're looking at, obviously, trying to get people to meditate, but meditation isn't easy for everybody. So we're using some other tools, and one of the tools is this Deepak Chopra Dream Weaver. And the development of it is based on our research that what we find when we measure people's brain waves using an electroencephalograph device. Electroencephalograph has monitors all around the head and picks up the electrical signals. We're finding that most people in their busy workday mode, where they have this task to do and this person to pick up, this report to deliver, that everything seems like it's going really fast. It really is moving fast. And we see brain waves of somewhere between 13 and 30 cycles a second. People who meditate, we see, have lower brainwave frequencies. We call in the alpha phase, somewhere between 8 and 12 cycles a second. Below that, the space you're at just before you go to sleep or just before you wake up or while you're lucid dreaming, that's called theta at 4 to 8 cycles a second. And then deep dreamless sleep is 0.5 to 4 cycles a second. So how do you change it? How do you teach yourself? I mean, other than taking the 10 years to learn how to be good at meditation. And it turns out that every wisdom tradition has a technology that helps people do that. Besides meditation, and meditation is practiced by a lot of different religions, there's kirtan. And this is sort of call or response singing that helps people lower their brain waves. Gregorian chanting, Hawaiian chanting, Native American chanting, a lot of these chants also have the effect of lowering a person's brain waves. You've seen whirling dervishes, that's spinning around. There's a frequency to that spinning, and that slows down the brain waves. Some people, they daven when they pray. They're moving their body in rhythmic ways, and that slows their brain waves down also. Prayer bowls, Tibetan prayer bowls, and Native American drum circles, all of these things help slow down the brain waves to that meditative alpha state. And even newer technology, like trance dancing, using flashing lights, helps people lower their body, their brainwave frequency down to a trance state. And of course, there is altered states through chemistry. Using psychoactive drugs helps people change their state. In addition to these wisdom tradition technologies, there's also something called neurofeedback. And in neurofeedback, you hook a person up to a device, like an electroencephalograph machine, like a galvanic skin response or a polygraph, or a breath monitor, or heart rate variability monitor. And in this, listening to your feedback, you can slowly learn and teach yourself how to reduce your brainwave frequency. And you can see an example of an electroencephalograph here, multiple sensors around the head. And besides, this is a complex one. They even have home units, which have 4 sensors on your head, and it syncs with a smartphone. And there's even something called the Star Wars Force Trainer, which has electroencephalograph hooked up to a motor that spins a fan, and when you are in an alpha brainwave phase, the fan turns on, the ball blows up the tube. It's pretty cool. Other technologies are galvanic skin response. They're measuring the surface resistance on your skin. And that's how a polygraph works, the lie detector test works. And all of these things help people train themselves to chill, train themselves to slow down, but all of them are work. They're all work. They all mean that you have to do the work. And we see whether it's meditation, which takes 10 years to get good at lowering your brain waves, or the other thing, all these other things, it takes work to get to a meditative state. Whereas the technology we're talking about, brainwave entrainment, which is also called the flicker effect. And it's called flicker. You've probably had this experience if you've been at a campfire at night and the fire's going and the fire is flickering and you just get mesmerized by the fire. You just start to get hypnotized and stare at it. That's because the fire is flickering somewhere in an alpha theta frequency. And what we see happening is that if you give a person a stimulus, if you give their brain a stimulus, the brain mirrors that stimulus. And we see a lot of examples of it. Like if somebody's spinning a jump rope, you start moving your body in cadence to that jump rope. Sometimes, you're at a concert and people start clapping and everybody starts clapping in sync. They're all synchronizing together. Here's an example, Rockabye Baby on a treetop, where a parent takes a screaming kid with a very high frequency brain signature, brain waves, and rocks them into a delta sleep state, where their body actually takes in the vibrations and slows down their brain waves. Here's another example, a metronome. It's a timing device you use to train yourself to play a musical instrument. If you have that metronome going like this, it's really hard not to follow that frequency. And so that's what happens with brainwave entrainment, is you entrain on the signal. And so it takes place instantly and effortlessly. There's no work required. All you have to do is put it on, in our case, put on the goggles and you're gone. And so this was our first Dream Weaver with Deepak wearing it, and it's pretty cool and it works. And we've gone through several generations from the Dream Weaver 1.0 to the 2.0, and here you see Deepak with that unit. And the unit that we're using inside the spas is called the Deepak Chopra Dream Master, and it consists of a console and a pair of goggles. And you put the goggles, or the user puts the goggles on and experiences this with their eyes closed. When they're doing this, they're seated or lying down. And I'm going to talk more about that next. In addition to the Dream Master, we have the Deepak Chopra Dream Weaver 3.0. And what that does is it's goggles that sync to a program, to an app on a smartphone, an Android or an iPhone. And it is Bluetooth enabled. And you see how that works. This is experienced with your eyes closed, again seated or lying down. Here's a picture of Deepak with the Dream Weaver 3.0, and next to him is a model sitting in the lotus position using the Dream Weaver 3.0. And I made assumptions about that who Deepak is, but he's an extraordinary individual who is an MD. He's a endocrinologist who has over 80 books written. About 25 of them are New York Times bestsellers. He was considered by Time magazine as the #1 influencer in the United States in health and wellness. He's got millions of followers on Twitter and Facebook, and I think in LinkedIn it was Richard Branson, Jack Welch, Deepak, and then Barack Obama are the order. Deepak is very good friends with Oprah Winfrey and was very close with Michael Jackson, as he is with a lot of celebrities and thought leaders. Friends with the President of Mexico, Vincent Fox. So the next slide. The scientific data to support brainwave entrainment first appeared in Scientific American in 1973. This next slide is showing you the electroencephalograph of a person just before they're using the Dream Weaver and then after they're using it. And it's hard to see those green lines that go up and down. That means those are second lines, every second that happens. So if somebody is having a brainwave experience of 20 cycles a second, you would see 20 peaks within those green lines. And what we're finding after just a few minutes on this machine, I don't know if you could see it from here, but the anterior, posterior, occipital, left, right hemispheres, they're all in synchrony. They're all the same. And if you count the peaks, you'd see that they're about 8, and that's exactly what we're programming to here. Here's a letter from Dr. Rudy Tanzi, who's also involved in this project. Rudy's a really extraordinary person. He's head of neuroscience at Harvard Medical School. He's in charge of aging research and genetics at Massachusetts General Hospital. He's discovered more genetic disease than anybody, including most of the Alzheimer's genes. He's also developed Alzheimer's in a petri dish so that they can do all the brain research on, instead of mice or animals or people, they could do it all, the Alzheimer's research in a test tube. Rudy also plays full court basketball, and he's also an incredible musician. He was asked to join Aerosmith as their keyboard player. He's played with Aerosmith, with Johnny Depp. He was on the Leno Show. It's really, and in fact, he does most of the music for many of the programs that we have. So there's a lot of research on this brainwave entrainment. The most recently, on the December 8th article in Nature magazine, which is the preeminent science magazine, where they seem to be showing that using visual brainwave entrainment can help reverse the effects of Alzheimer's from the buildup of beta amyloid plaque. It actually causes it to clear from the brain. And there's not really a lot of stuff that can do that. We also have quantified this technology using, as I said, the galvanic skin response. And here you just see an example of a person starting off on the left side, and it's very high frequency, and then very quickly their galvanic skin response signature slows down. So people are reporting some really incredible effects from the Dream Weaver, and it's just a delight to see people coming off the chair. And the areas they talk about it in are helping them in sleep, stress and anxiety, meditation, and even getting to an altered state of consciousness. I mean, one guy said, "This isn't going to work for me. I'm always too stressed." And he came off the machine and said, "I was in Aruba. I was on vacation in Aruba." This biker guy with leather and metal came out of the booth and said, "I was surrounded by 1 million people. I could feel their love." One 80-ish-year-old woman said, "I was in my backyard as a little girl. I was playing in my sandbox. I haven't done that since I was 2. Oh, she was so grateful for it. So it's really exciting. I mean, I invite you to look at the huge number of testimonials that we have in this area. It's extraordinary. So we have programs for both the Dream Master and the Dream Weaver 3.0 that are, in many of them, narrated by Deepak, with music by Rudy Tanzi, and there's some teaching from Deepak in some of them, so some narrated, some of them are just pure music. One of them is Deepak doing the Bhagavad Gita, which is the great cosmic battle with Lord Krishna. There is one program on chakra meditation where Deepak takes you through all 7 chakras, from the root chakra to the crown chakra, and there's another program, Being Still, on getting to a sleep-like state. And we've had great luck in getting into great publications. We've been written up on the cover of USA Today and the New York Times. And now we are in the Delta Sky Lounges. And currently we're in Seattle and JFK and going on to Miami and Atlanta and Los Angeles Airport. These are the table talkers that are in the spa to help direct people to find the Dream Weaver. And this is an example of the spa in Seattle. So there's some product available. And there's also massage stations. And then here you see there are 4 people in Moon Lounger chairs having the Dream Weaver experience. The Dream Master has a manufacturer suggested retail price of $349, and it comes with 86 programs. It's a standalone device. You don't have to own any other technology to be able to use that. Whereas with the Dream Weaver, and it has a manufacturer suggested retail price of $249, it syncs with an iPhone or with an Android phone. There are some brochures at the spas to help you and your clients learn more about the Dream Weaver, Dream Master devices. And I'm going to just take you on a tour of the Dream Master. This is a schematic of it. And on the top is the port for plugging in for charging. And you can leave it in a charging mode while you're delivering the experience to your clients. So in the top, here it is, the top center of the device is for the charging port. And then we put the goggles, plug in on the bottom right side, headphones bottom left side. And when you turn this on, you see the splash screen, and then it says there's 4 quadrants: sessions, USB, aux, audio, and settings. And you use this circle in the center and ring on the outside to navigate to sessions. And in sessions, you would click on a folder that would have the Dreamweaver programs in it. And for the spas, we have 2 different folders. One is a 25-minute folder, and one's a 50-minute folder. So all the programs in those folders are about that length of time. And you click on the folder, you click on the program you want to listen to, center, click it. It does a 10-second countdown. If you want to speed that up, you click it again, and you're off. So, and you'll see the lights flashing on this. We're going to go over in more detail on how to use this with your clients, but I just want you to see how that works. And the reason why we're using the Dream Master and not the Dream Weaver 3.0 in the spa setting is because if you have 6 or 7 of these going at the same time, then one person's iPhone may sync with another person's goggles, and you press the button and some of the lights go on the wrong person. The hardwired ones, you know that when you push the button, the person who you put the goggles on is going to have that experience. So there is a quick start card, and this is one half of it, and the other half provides you with instructions on how to operate that device, which I just showed you how to operate. Main thing to remember is for the clients need to keep their eyes closed. We have special goggles they can use that allow them to have this experience with their eyes open, but this setup, keep your eyes closed, okay? The brighter the light, the richer the experience, but we're in the comfort business. You want your clients to be as comfortable as possible. So make the light as bright as they can take it without being uncomfortable. Now you can adjust the light levels, and you should. So, first you would ask your client, are you sensitive to light or not? Some very sensitive to light, you would lower the light intensity. The light intensity button is on the side here. I'm going to go backwards on the slide so you can see. So you see brightness on the right side. On the left side it said headphone volume. So the brightness, you adjust the brightness. There's a plus sign and a minus sign. You can see what level the brightness is. On the top there's a little ideogram with a little green line, and as you make it brighter, the green line moves that way, and as you make it less bright, it moves that way. So you probably want to start most of your clients with the green line halfway, but ask them again before the program begins if they're sensitive to light or not. And if they like a lot of light, then like I do, I like a lot of light, I crank it all the way up to the top. Same is true with the volume. For some of your systems, you will have the client will use their own earbuds, or they may have, we have different headphones, and I'm going to show you those in a minute. And some of the headphones have the volume adjustment on the stem. Otherwise, you can adjust the volume from the console. So let's go to the next. slide. As I said, you want to keep your eyes closed with the light goggles on. The brighter the light, the richer the experience, but adjust the light levels and sound levels for your comfort. And of course, have this experience while sitting down or lying down and making sure that the head is supported. Because what we find happens is a person drifts off, and if there's nothing to support their head, then they jerk awake, and then they drift off, and then they jerk awake, and they go through this cycle of that. So the next slide is a close-up view of the screen that you see on your Dream Master. And maybe here you see that green line in the upper right. That's the intensity. To the extreme right, that's the battery level indicator. On the left side is sound. And then you have your main menu of sessions, and that's, you want to click on sessions to get to your sessions. And you see on the next slide, it's showing you the two folders you have, a 25-minute folder and a 50-minute folder. And if you click on the 25-minute folder, the next slide shows the different programs you have, which is Trip to the Forest, Being Still, Everglades, Shaman, and Tibetan Highlands. And then the first program here is the introductory virtual trip to the forest with Deepak. And this is the one that we prefer that your clients have as their first full Deepak Chopra Dream Weaver brainwave entrainment experience. It's got holographic sounds and music by Rudy Tanzi, and it's in a rainforest with lightning and anti-gravity dust. It's pretty extraordinary. This is Alina wearing the Dream Master goggles. And you can adjust the colors on the Dream Master goggles. It's RGB, red, green, blue. So setting 1, and I'll show you where that is the white. There's red, green, there's green, blue, there's blue, circling around to white again. So this is the box the Deepak Chopra Dream Master comes in. And I'm going to just rotate the box so you see all the different sides of it. And these will generally be on display in the product area at the spa. And there's a lot of cool stuff inside it, but mainly it's the Dreamweaver Dream Master console. And it has a built-in rechargeable battery. It's got 85 programs built into it. And again, you plug in the goggles on the bottom. You plug in the headphones, and here we're using a noise-reducing headphone on the side. I'm going to turn this on. Splash screen comes up, navigate to sessions. So we plug in the headphones, we plug in the goggles, all on the bottom. And on the top is the USB, mini USB charger. So you plug this into any AC or USB port on your laptop or a charger, and this is how you charge the Dream Master. And again, you can have it plugged in while you're providing the session. It doesn't interfere with that. We're using noise reduction headphones. Now, if you're doing this experience with a client and you're doing a facial, you might want to have lower profile headphones. We have these COS headphones that are much smaller, so they're out of the way. But you could also use earbuds, and perhaps even your clients want to use their own earbuds. So we have these available, disposable, one use and throw them away. But if they want to use their own earbuds, please invite them to do that. So that's, but whatever you do, make sure that the wires are not draping over your client's face in a way that's going to become distracting. I just saw an experience where a person was on the system and the wire was across their nose or something like that. And that's not going to make for a memorable, positive experience. So be thoughtful about the wires. Showing you this again, maybe you can even see as I adjust the light levels, you see how it gets dimmer and dimmer and brighter and brighter. And again, you want your client to be really happy. So make sure that with their eyes closed that you have this adjusted to the level that they're most comfortable with. And the same with the sound. The sound should be sweet and not overpowering. For the Dream Weaver 3.0, when a client buys that, you see there's a QR code on the box. You can actually use your QR scanner on your smartphone, scan the QR code, and then the app will automatically download onto the smartphone. In addition to on the box, there are also quick start instructions inside. There are quick start instructions inside, again with a QR code on there. Or they could just go to the App Store and type in the word Deepak Chopra Dream Weaver LLC. Or we also have the link, the direct link that they could do. Once you've loaded the app onto your smartphone, and it works with both Android and iOS phones that have wireless Bluetooth, you launch the program. It says click Get Started. We're going to skip the instruction manual. It says connect the glasses. So what you have to do is you touch the momentary button, the little green button on the glasses until the green light lights up and then it starts blinking. So yes, we're going to connect the glasses. We click connect. The program options come up. All right, so I'm going to play this Jai Ma. We turn on the program. Here you see this level here. You can increase or decrease the light level. So there you go. That's how it works. Pretty simple. Again, you adjust the light levels with this slide bar over here. You see that lights change colors with the programs. That's low intensity. That's a higher intensity. And the sound level you control with the volume on it as you would any other MP3 file. So enjoy your use of the Dream Weaver, the Dream Master, and hope your clients have a wonderful time. If you have any questions at all, any technical questions, any questions on the science, whatever, please feel free to contact me. My name is David Major. My email address is dreamweaver@deepakchopra.com. My landline, 413-247-0120. I'll give you my cell, 413-427-1768. Look forward to hearing from you and have a wonderful time with us. Namaste.